This video is brought to you by catbeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Before I start this video, I would like to give a shout out to my sponsor, catbeast.com. Catbeast.com is your one-stop shop for custom snapbacks made from people all around the world. You can design your own custom hats, snapbacks, beanies, and finding other great designs that suit your fitting. Now on to the video. It's not very often you ever see NBA rookies make the All-Star team, the last one being Blake Griffin, who technically was supposed to be in his second season, sat out his entire first full year since being drafted #1 overall due to injury. Looking through the decades, with the league becoming much more difficult for first-year players to become one of the best players, a combination of more established stars plus the older ones still driving makes it near impossible for recent rookies like Pablo Banchero and even a first-year Luka Doncic to have a spot in the All-Star team. The 2000s and 2010s decade, only Yao Ming and Blake Griffin made the team, and let's be honest, Yao got in due to fan vote. Shockingly, getting the starting nod over Shaq is nearly impossible for the one-and-done era. Even sensational rookies like LeBron didn't do enough to make it as a 19-year-old, while 5 total rookies in the 90s, including a few all-time greats, already established age. David Robinson served 2 years in the Navy after college, was already 24, Dikembe Mutombo already 25, moved to the US at 21 to start college, Shaquille O'Neal a prodigy with insane hype, Grant Hill 4 years of college already 22 years old, and 21-year-old Tim Duncan also 4 years of undergrad, would have likely been the #1 pick 2 years before. Most stars in past decades played all 4 years in the NCAA. Now, let's take a look at all the first-time All-Stars who made it as rookies and never made the All-Star team again. Starting with Don Sunderlake of the Philadelphia Warriors way back to the 50s. The 6'1" shooting guard picked 9th overall, played for the Milwaukee Hawks way before the Atlanta Hawks. Used to be called the Tree City Blackhawks first season 49-50 before relocating to St. Louis in 55-56. The University of Illinois traded to Milwaukee after being picked, required to serve in the military, pushed his NBA start by 2 seasons, made the All-Star team as a 24-year-old rookie, numbers of over 11 points, 3 and 3, 34% shooting, the NBA's 4th ever All-Star game, only around 100 players in the league back then. Don scored 4 points in 6 minutes, played as a reserve, selected by the coaches, traded the following season to Minneapolis, played 45 games, his role reduced, released from his contract in summer of 55 at age 25, 2 total seasons in the league. Sunderlake and his wife died tragically in a car accident July 15, 1961. He was 31. Jack Molinas, banned from the NBA shortly after, the disgraced small forward was supposed to be a basketball grade. New York City native, attended Ivy League Columbia University from 50 to 53, played just 32 career games before the league banned him for wagering on Pistons games, losing purposely despite his numbers of over 11 and 7, made the All-Star team before being replaced by teammate Andy Phillips, never played in the NBA again, tried suing the league but failed. The 22-year-old's lifetime ban drew away all his basketball talents, but his name didn't go away quietly. After getting a law degree, became a leader of a gambling ring called Fixers Inc. In the point-shaving scandal 1961, Molinas, the front and center in the scandal, got a 10 to 15-year prison sentence, ruined the careers of promising stars Connie Hawkins and Roger Brown. Playing the game for him wasn't as exciting as fixing it for high financial benefits. Continue on with his shady and selfish ways. After his business partner was beaten to death, a case never solved, collected a $500,000 insurance policy, then about a year later, shot and killed outside his home in Hollywood Hills at just 43. A super dark story of an outstanding athlete who could have been an NBA Hall of Famer, only to take the dark road. Even had a book written about him on how Jack Molinas almost destroyed the game of basketball, a brutal downfall, remembered as one of the biggest negatives and destructive forces ever done to the game of basketball. Ray Felix of the Baltimore Bullets, drafted 2nd overall in the 53 draft, the 6'11" center averaged 17.5 points, over 13 rebounds out of Long Island University. The 5th leading scorer, a starter, put up 13 and 11 in the All-Star game. After his first season, winning Rookie of the Year, all of a sudden traded for 2 less talented guys. The league didn't give him much opportunities to play his minutes. His numbers decreased, although still a role player, his career slowly diminished. Finished out with the 1962 Lakers at age 31, died of a heart attack in 1991 at 60. Luke Jackson, the 6'8" power forward picked 4th in the 64 draft by the 76ers, posted numbers of nearly 15 points, 13 rebounds in year 1. Considered the third best player on his team behind Hal Greer and the newly acquired Will Chamberlain, traded to the Sixers the middle of the season from the Warriors. Jackson's role diminished after having wilt, but remained a decent role player, part of the 67 title team, arguably the best team the first quarter century of the NBA's existence. A strong, rugged power forward, had he played on a weaker team, might have played in a couple more All-Star games and had better numbers. Finished off his career with averages of nearly 10 and 9, 8 seasons in the city of brotherly love. Alvan Adams of the Phoenix Suns, drafted 4th overall in the 75 draft out of OU, the 6'9" big man increased the Suns' level of play, went from 32-50 the season before to 42-40 with him, averaged 19-9, the assist leader on his team, 5.6 a game as a center, including 1.5 steals and 1.5 blocks, the only NBA rookie to ever average 15, 5, 5, 1 and 1, playing with Paul Westphal, Gar Hurd, and Curtis Perry. Head coach John MacLeod was so sold on Adams' abilities, convinced the 21-year-old to come out as a junior while carrying a 3.8 GPA as a pre-med student, only to complete his bachelor's degree 24 years later. Capable of doing it all, unlike traditional bigs, Adams can run, pass, and handle the ball at a high level. Suns fans actually despised the pick and wanted Arizona State standout point guard Lionel Hollins. At 6'9", only 210 pounds, a thin frame, many didn't think Adams would have the size to play center. One of the pioneers to being one of the original point centers, the only Sun to make the All-Star team as a reserve in 76, also won Rookie of the Year, while first overall pick David Thompson decided to start out professional ball in the ABA, likely opened the All-Star spot for the 6'9" center, one of the most forgotten amazing rookies. En route to the playoffs, 19 games played, Adams averaged 18 and 10 and 5 assists, hit the go-ahead winning layup in Game 6 while down 3-2 to defending champions Golden State Conference Finals, finished with an 18-point, 20-rebound Game 7, led his team all the way to the finals, the franchise's first ever trip there, played excellent in those finals, averaging 23 points, 10 rebounds on 49% shooting, reaching at least 20 points 5 of the 6 games, went toe-to-toe with prime Dave Cowens, a top 3 MVP candidate, arguably the best player in the biggest stage in the NBA as the leading scorer in the finals as a rookie. Insanely impressive and something we might never see again, being in the cover of SI during those finals. However, after his rookie season, Adams pretty much peaked, had less scoring opportunities with the addition of Walter Davis. Adams, remembered as an all-around talent, way ahead of his time, super high IQ, played all 13 seasons in Phoenix, remained a terrific player the years after. The closest player we have today that resembles Adams' style of play, Alperen Sengun of the Houston Rockets. Bill Cartwright of the New York Knicks, drafted 3rd overall in the 79 class out of University of San Francisco, the 7'1", 250-pound center made an immediate impact with the Knicks, excellent numbers of 21.7 points, 9 rebounds, 55% shooting, led all rookies in scoring minutes and field goal percentage, but of course didn't receive any first place votes in the Rookie of the Year race because of Bird and Magic, being a replacement for the injured and past his prime Dave Cowens. Cartwright joined his second-year star teammate Michael Ray Richardson, having several 30-point games and shooting nearly 80% from the line, super rare for somebody his size. Before being known as a role player for Michael Jordan's Bulls, Cartwright a pretty solid big, but couldn't hold his own against elite centers in the early 80s such as Moses Malone and Robert Parrish, often swept under the rug, scored 8 points his first and only All-Star game, contributing to the East win, remained a very good player until the foot injuries started piling in, a shell of himself in the late 80s. Prior to the start of 89, traded to the Bulls for Charles Oakley, adding more down-low scoring, a move MJ hated, called him nicknames like Medical Bill due to his injuries. Cartwright actually held up okay for the three-peat, played 79, 64, and 63 games from 91 to 93, retired in 95. People growing up watching the Bulls in the early 90s likely assumed Cartwright was an NBA scrub with a weird-looking jumper and was only there because of his height. But little did they know, Cartwright having one of the best rookie seasons to get overshadowed by 2 all-time greats, more than half the time, Cartwright's rookie production would have been enough to win him Rookie of the Year. Thanks so much for watching this video. The big question going forward for the 2020s decade, will a future rookie make the All-Star team soon? Let me know in the comments below. Love y'all. See you next time.